Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Dzakirin. We are students from UNGS 2380 Section 17, Ethics and Fiqh of Contemporary Issues. We are from group number 6. Our title for this presentation is How Does Islam Preserve Moral Values? These are our group members, Muhammad Dzakirin, Muhammad SAIF RIDHAUDEEN and AHMAD FATHI. We start from the introduction on how does Islam preserve moral values. Moral values are the principles or guidelines that individuals or groups use to determine what is right and wrong in human behavior. These values shape an individual's decisions and actions and can guide their behavior in personal and professional life. Moral values can also be viewed as a set of ideals or standards in their life. Islam places a strong emphasis on the importance of moral values, which are outlined in the Quran and Hadith. These moral values include honesty, compassion, generosity, respect, and responsibility, among others. Muslims are encouraged to practice these values in their daily life and to strive for personal and spiritual development. Islam also provides a framework for preserving moral values through its legal system, which is based on the principles of justice, fairness, and compassion. Therefore, the Quran and Sunnah, Islam institutions, education, and parenting are the important factors to preserve moral values.
The first way Islam can preserve moral values is through Al-Quran and As-Sunnah, because both Quran and Sunnah are the major sources of Islam that contains everything needed by everyone, including the moral values. Allah SWT said in the Quran in Surah An-Nahl, verse 89, "We have revealed to you the book as an explanation of all things, a guide, a mercy, and good news for those who fully submit." As an example, Quran teaches us to do good deeds to others. By doing the good deed, we will be rewarded and loved by Allah SWT, as in the Quran, Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 195, "And do good, for Allah certainly loves the good doers." Next example, Sunnah teaches us about cleanliness and personal hygiene, as there is a hadith from Prophet Muhammad SAW about using the miswak before prayer. And Prophet Muhammad SAW also said that purify is a half of iman or faith.
Parenting plays a significant role in the development of moral values in children. Parents are responsible for providing their children with guidance, discipline, and role modeling, which all contribute to the development of moral values. One way parents can instill moral values in their children is through verbal instruction and explanation. This can involve teaching children about right and wrong, good and bad behavior, and the consequences of their actions. Another way is through modeling moral behavior themselves. Children learn by observing the behavior of their parents, so it is important for parents to consistently display good moral behavior. Moreover, religious or cultural upbringing can also play a role in the development of moral values, as it provides children with a framework for understanding and interpreting moral concepts and actions. Parents must teach their children about the basics of Islam. They can teach their children the basic beliefs and practices of Islam, such as the five pillars of Islam and the six articles of faith. For example, teaching the children on how to read the Quran and how to perform daily prayers and so on. In addition, parents can encourage their children to get involved in the local Muslim community and to participate in activities and events that promote Islamic values and teachings. It is important for parents to understand that moral education is an ongoing process throughout their children's life. Overall, parenting and moral values are closely linked, and parents play a crucial role in shaping the moral character of their children.
Education and knowledge plays an important role in preserving moral values and characters of a Muslim. This can be seen when the Prophet arrived in Medina. The first thing that the Prophet built was a mosque that functioned as the education center. Islam has always placed a high value on education, in part because the Islamic tradition places a lot of emphasis on the study of Quran. Al-Quran and As-Sunnah are the most reliable sources of knowledge and education. Narrated Abu Hurairah that the Messenger of Allah said, "Whoever takes a path upon which to obtain knowledge, Allah makes the path to paradise easy for him." From this hadith, we can conclude that the knowledge is very important in our life. Knowledge and education also can enlighten people to differentiate between the good and the bad. Without knowledge, one cannot know whether the act will be rewarded or will be punished by Allah. For example, a Muslim who knows that the importance of amanah and how it is demanded in Islam will tend to uphold the amanah and will not do khianah or betrayal. Education also must be taught from an early age. This is because it is easier to educate people when they are still young, since they are still learning and more likely to listen. An example can be taken from one of the hadith where the Prophet said, "Command your children to pray when they become 7 years old, and beat them for it when they become 10 years old, and arrange their bed to sleep separately." This shows that the Prophet also educated people since they are still young. Moral values also can be included in the education system based on the moral value that is portrayed by Prophet Muhammad, since the Prophet has the best example of moral values.
Move on to the data analysis that was taken on the survey from 30 IIUM students. For question 1, does moral values important? All IIUM students answered that they know the importance of moral values. For the second question, which is how does Islam can preserve moral values? Majority or 16 students out of 30 said that Islam can preserve moral values through Al-Quran and As-Sunnah, through parenting, and also through education and knowledge.
As a conclusion, Islam preserves moral values in three different types, which are through Al Quran and As Sunnah, through parenting, and through education and knowledge. As Muslims, it is our obligation to uphold the Prophet's Sunnah and make an effort to show good moral values. By following the Sunnah, a Muslim will achieve mardatillah or Allah's pleasure, which is the ultimate goal of a Muslim. By achieving this, a Muslim has completed the objectives of this temporary life. To achieve Allah's pleasure, one must follow His command and avoid His forbiddance. Preserving moral values in line with the teachings of Islam and Prophet Muhammad is one of the ways to achieve Allah's pleasure.
That's all from us. Thank you for watching.